Hi, hello, and welcome to the final episode of World Cup Tidbits with Gully Cricket. And today, as always, we have the boys, Manas and Shash. All right, guys. So, are you happy that Australia won it?
Kind of.
Kind of.
I was a neutral. For me, I think as Ravi Shastri says, cricket was the winner.
Cricket
That's
was
what
the
I would
winner,
say.
but yeah, I'm sure the New Zealanders felt it a different way, and the Aussies felt it different way.
Yeah.
So, Shash, okay, this is one box that Australia wanted to tick off. Okay, I mean they won a lot of 50-over World Cups. Okay, I mean they achieved the pinnacle in Test. T20 was something like kind of a missing piece, right, in the puzzle,
Yeah.
and I think they should be proud because they were not the pre-tournament favorites, but they won the crucial matches, and they are the champions now.
Yes, definitely. This has eluded them for almost like 14 years now.
Hmm.
You could also see how much it meant to them with the celebrations that took place. After the game, quite a few of the players were emotional, like especially Stoinis and Mitchell
Hmm.
Marsh. After all he's gone through, I think when he played like franchise cricket, also he wasn't available for his team because of his spate of injuries as well.
Hmm.
So I think to come up with a match-winning performance in the final, that definitely would have meant a lot for him. And and I think as we discussed before the game, that Australia has sort of won such games before. They've been in the finals before, and they've managed to emerge victorious. So that would help them. And I think you could see that as well. You just felt that firepower that Australia have was a little too much compared to what New Zealand. Uh, no, I mean, due respect to Williamson's knock, it was a brilliant innings, captain's knock, you can say, from Williamson. I
Hmm.
just felt like maybe they needed another 20-25 runs to challenge Australia, something close to 200 to put some pressure. Even though 170 was quite a competitive target, but it just wasn't enough on the given day.
Yeah, so we thought it was a big game and the final, and 172 would be enough. But yeah, the firepower of Australia, as Shah said, had the final say. Manas, you've been predicting Mitchell Ross March for a long time. Okay, I remember seeing him as a baby-faced youngster, when he came in under Gilly swings for Deccan Chargers and stuff. So what's up with this guy? I mean, he comes up with his performances. He started off with a 6, 4, and 4 in a big match. What's up with this guy?
Yeah, so he's been having a good year this year. So we saw him in Bangladesh series. Everyone was struggling, and he was constantly scoring 50s. So that's why I had my eyes fixed on him, and I was predicting him for almost all matches because I knew that when someone fails, it will be Mitch Marsh who steps up, and it was him in the final. So yeah, he's this kind of a power player, but like Shaz mentioned, due to his injuries and other things, people have been just criticizing him, and he's not been like giving that kind of knocks. But
Hmm.
all he needed was one match, and now see how whole of Australia is celebrating him. So I hope this continues. But yeah, this whole year has been good for him, and he has like 600 runs, I think, and that is the highest for Australia in this year.
Yeah, so what a knock that was, and what a match, the World Cup final, and taking your team to victory. So 77 of around 50 balls proved to be the difference. Shash, there was one more guy who hit the fastest half century, right, in a World Cup final, in a T20 World Cup final, David Warner. So talk about him, okay? 1 month back, he was not even in the team bus for
Mm.
SRH.
Yeah,
And after a couple of matches, just for an eye wash, he was waving the SRH flag.
yeah.
From that to being the player of the tournament in a World Cup. Talk about that change, transformation.
Yeah, I mean, you can say his world has completely turned around in a matter of 30 days
Hmm.
because he literally was struggling, when he was playing for SRH, and, he didn't make his way into the team. I think he played 1 or 2 games after
Second
the
legs,
start
yeah.
of, yeah, the second leg, but he wasn't getting runs, and then he was benched for the remaining games. And even if you talk about his initial innings in the World Cup as well, he was not getting enough runs. But I think the team believed in him. I think they
Mhm.
backed his strength, and they knew what kind of an impact player he can be. And I think he just proved them because he just started finding form when the team required him, starting off from the West Indies game where he got to a
Right,
50.
yeah.
you cannot say it was a typical Warner knock, but he was there till the end. He guided the team through. And then after that, I mean, that was a must-win game for Australia, by the way. So he made sure that he contributed in that. And after that, again, in the semi-finals, he played a typical Warner knock, you can say, where he dominated. And I mean, his decision, you can say, which he got out to was questionable. I mean, he himself walked away.
off without reviewing. Yeah.
Without reviewing. But I mean, and then come the finals, it sort of reminded me of what Gilchrist had gone through in the 2007 World Cup. Like it was only in the finals, that they kept backing, because Australia had a team to die for that time.
Right.
So, and he was like the missing piece, and he made sure that he scored 100, where he had that ping pong ball or whatever in his gloves during that time, and that became a bit of a controversy and all that.
Yeah.
But that sort of reminded me of like what Warner also achieved. But credit to him, like he played his natural game, and he found form at the right time. And those contributions are I mean, there to see for everyone.
Yeah.
It's
What a
just
turnaround it was, right? From being in the Sunrisers bench, okay, so to being the player of the series and contributing in a big game as well. Okay, so Manas, in a way, right? I know you've been following Australian cricket a lot. Okay, so we know the Australia, right, with the Pontings and the Was and the Clarks and stuff. Okay, and this team is like, okay, we could say it's not that aura around it. Okay, so do you think Warner is the missing piece which connects the two teams? Because like I think he's now playing for 13, 14 years. Okay, so you think that had the effect? Because like we knew Australia can play big matches, but probably not this team, right? So you think Warner was such an important piece in the puzzle for Australia?
Exactly. And like I told in the last video, Warner is very important in the middle overs. And that is the time when most of the teams have struggled, because that's when the spin comes in, and you start losing the run rate, and that's when you fall back and lose the momentum. So that's why Warner was the most crucial piece here, and he was freely scoring runs even in that phase. And then came in Mitchell Marsh, and they had a good partnership as well. So yeah, Warner was important, but I think this team as a whole, they have contributed well enough, because in different games we saw different players contributing. There was Stoinis, there was Wade. So not like a collectively good performance as a team, but they have contributed their bit whenever needed. And Warner contributed in most of the games, so that's why he got the well-deserved man of the tournament as well.
Yeah, and as you said, right, a lot of players in Australia stepped up when it really mattered. Starting from the South Africa game, right, to the Bangladesh game, West Indies, maxi one match, and everybody do it. Shash, I think probably that's a secret, isn't it? Because we never consider Australia as favorites because they lost to Bangladesh, they lost to West Indies recently, but they never played at full strength, right? So they were players rested because of COVID, the players rested because of test matches, and when Australia comes to full strength, they are a very good T20 unit, aren't they?
Yes, and also the fact that they've never not won a World Cup till now, T20 World Cup as well. I think they've made the semis once.
Made the finals once against England.
Finals once against England 2010.
Yeah.
And apart from that, I think they made the semis once in 2007 in the inaugural edition.
Yeah, they lost to India, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So otherwise, their record has not been that great. So they would have wanted to put better that. And I think they've definitely done that by winning the World Cup. I mean, as you mentioned, they never sent the full strength squad. I think that turned out to be a blessing in disguise for them because of the COVID norms.
Nobody took them seriously, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's talking about England and Pakistan. And
because they had the firepower, and you also felt like it might be either England or Pakistan who might end up lifting because of the balance that they had in the team. But then, like even someone like a Maxwell, how important he has been, like in terms of driving that momentum in the middle overs. He was doing the same thing for RCB while playing in the IPL. So that also helped for him, spending time in the middle and, getting runs under his belt. He had gained quite a bit of confidence. And you can just say that they performed, and especially someone like a Hazelwood as well needs a special mention, like who was brilliant with the ball for them. Like he picked up wickets whenever it was required, and he sort of made up for what Stark was unable to do. Stark was quite expensive in most of the matches,
Yeah,
you
he
can
had the
say.
most expensive figures for a bowler in a T20 final,
Yeah,
right?
despite of
Yeah,
that, I mean, they managed to chase down the runs, whatever the opposition had set them. That shows that, I mean, it was within limits, what Australia did manage to get. So you can definitely say it's a well-rounded team, and it was an all-round performance that ended them up. I mean, which resulted in them winning the World Cup.
exactly. So congratulations, Australia. Okay,
Yeah,
as we just discussed, right? Well-rounded performance by everyone in the squad. Okay,
yeah.
and probably including Justin Langer for all the criticism that he's been receiving over the last 1 year. But Manas, let's spare a thought for the other team as well, right? So we talked a lot about Warner, how he became the highest, I mean, the fastest 50. Okay, but he actually beat Kane Williamson, who just 1 hour before actually did that. Okay, what an innings that was from Kane, right? And talk about the New Zealand team as well, because I'm sure they deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah, so they lost a player just before the finals, Conway, who was, I think,
Huntington.
yeah, he was one of the important players because we saw in Lords, he just entered and he scored centuries when he made his debut in Test. So he could have done a similar impact here. And that was, I think, something that the Kiwis would have worried about. But they have got Kane Williamson, of course. Whenever you need him, he's the one who steps up all the time. And I think he's the first player to score a 50 in all three formats in an ICC knockout game. So
Oh, uh-huh.
yeah, because in the Test Championship he scored some 50 or something, and that's it.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. The pressure doesn't matter to him. He's like calm as ever, and whatever the total needed, he'll try to score runs. And I think that's why he got some 85 runs, and probably could have got more because considering that they were batting first, you needed 181 runs, like I told in the last video.
Yeah.
So they were just short, but they started very slow, and in the power play they got only like 60 runs or so.
Yeah.
So that's why they had to
No, in the
accelerate in
first
the
10 overs, not in the
yeah.
Yeah.
power play.
So I think that was the difference, right?
Hmm.
57 for one for New Zealand versus 82 for one for Australia, which proved to be a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of talk about toss in this championship, how toss influenced, and I'm sure Finch himself accepted, right? Toss played a major part and all of that. But forgetting all that, it was a good World Cup. Okay, there were a few boring matches in the beginning, few one-sided matches, but I think towards the end it really picked up. At least the last 7 8 matches, okay, it really picked up, and I'm sure we enjoyed a good World Cup. So congratulations, New Zealand, well done. Okay, and definitely congratulations to the champions, Australia, as well. So that brings us to our contest, predict the man of the match. And can you believe it? Can you
It's our
believe
man.
it? Yeah, who won the contest? No chits, nothing. Okay, so congratulations, Manas,
Well,
for
we have an in-house
predicting.
winner.
Yeah, Mitchell, Ross, Marsh, because nobody else predicted him. All right, so that brings us to the end of the coverage of the T20 World Cup. So once again, folks, thank you so much for everyone for sticking with us. Okay,
Yeah.
and so that like you are keeping your predictions coming, and that really motivates us to do a lot of things as well. So what next, boys?
We have some
Surprise.
surprise.
All right, all right, folks.
Yeah.
So we thought, you know what, we will be covering all the India matches going forward, at least the limited overs matches.
T20s. Yeah.
Yeah, going forward, I don't know if we have any plans for test, or if they'll
50
kick me out
overs.
of my house if I do that in my house as well. All right, but then we will be covering at least the limited overs matches of India for now. So we have a match
Join
tomorrow.
us. Yeah.
All right, so what do you do, folks? Okay, well, ask them to write in this video itself, or come up with a new video.
I think they deserve another video.
Okay, all right, folks. Okay, so we'll have a new series. Okay, so this is the end of the World Cup tidbits. Thank you so much for all your support that you've given us over the last 1.5 months, including the IPL and this. And we would really want to be connecting with you very, very soon, probably tomorrow. Cheers, guys.
I think they've already planned. Just see Finch is the one sitting next to the trophy.
Cup. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye bye. Cheers.